Rob Tebbutt here for ID Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Isaac Chamberlain. We're here in Eastside Boxing in Birmingham, of all places. Isaac, been a little while. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Good to see you. So I just mentioned they were in Birmingham. You are not, obviously, a Birmingham boy. You're from Brixton.
Yeah.
What leads you here to Birmingham for camp for Chris Billam-Smith?
Just focus a lot more. You know, with my coaches, Bobby Mills and Connor Ward, we're all working together to win this fight.
You mentioned there you coach Bobby Mills. I've known you for a while. You've had various coaches throughout your career. I've been with Bobby for a little bit of time now. How do you feel?
2.5 years now, I think. Two or 2.5 years now.
How do you feel you've progressed under him?
Vastly. You know, people are going to see that July the 30th, the difference in me and my style. You know, it's been obviously we've had a lot of work. You know, we've tried to really focus on the fine lines, you know, of bettering myself as a boxer and as an athlete. So it's just, I can't wait.
Now, a lot of things have changed since the last time I caught up with you. Been a little bit of time, as I mentioned. One of which, you've become a father. Always very interested to speak to fighters about how that changes your mentality as a fighter going into the ring, knowing that you've got a child, a son at home to provide for. How has it been for you?
It's been different. There's more of a drive. There's more motivation. Everything is just different now. You know, I miss him a lot, you know, because obviously I've been away from him for a while now. I miss him so much. So now I'm just focused, man. Focused. I have a mouth to provide for now.
You're fighting Chris Billam-Smith, July the 30th in Bournemouth. A lot of people were very surprised at the announcement. Tell us a little bit about how the fight came to be made.
Got a call from Mick, my manager. We were speaking with Bobby at the time, and he said, this was probably about a month ago, Chris Billam-Smith. He said, yeah, I'm done.
It was as easy as that.
Yeah, literally.
Now, Chris, you've obviously boxed Lawrence Okolie as a professional. You've boxed Waddy Camacho in that great night at York Hall all of those years ago. Feels like a really, really long time ago, that fight. Where would you put Chris in comparison to the fighters that you've boxed so far in your career?
Honestly, I can't really make that assumption yet until I've actually been in the ring with him. But and it's different because I'm very different from those years ago. So it's hard to really gauge that, you know.
As a fighter, looking at him from the outside, looking in, obviously you've been in the same division for a little while, kind of coming up together through the ranks. What does he do well? What do you rate about him as a fighter?
He's very tough, very durable. He has a high engine as well. So that's the things that I'm going to have to deal with on the night. You know, he's going to want to win in Bournemouth in front of all his people, defending his belt. So I'm literally going to have to take it from him.
You mentioned that, him defending the title in front of his people in Bournemouth. You know, you're going out of London, you're going down there into the Lions Den, so to speak. Any reservations about that? You excited to perform in kind of behind enemy lines, so to speak?
Yeah, of course. Of course, you have to do that as a contender. You know, you have to do that as a contender. If I want to elevate in this sport, I have to do things like this. And it's just going to be another experience for me.
Now, somebody that has also boxed Chris Billam-Smith, somebody you know very, very well, known for a long time, Richard Riakporhe, of course, also boxing on Sky Sports alongside with Boxer. Have you spoke to Richard about the fight? Any bit of an inside track that you've had from him?
No, not really. He congratulated me for the fight, you know, and but we've never really had any like talks of Chris Billam-Smith, because obviously both of them, they fought each other at different times in their careers, and both of them are very different now. So, and I'm a different fighter, so it's kind of different, you know.
Seeing Richard and doing very well on Sky, getting out nice and active, as I mentioned, you've known each other for a long, long time. What's that like for you to watch him kind of doing what he's doing on Sky? It must be really motivating for you as somebody who's very close with him.
Of course. Even seeing Chris as well, Chris Congo, you know, everyone that we used to train together and stuff, like it's inspirational, you know, it's inspirational. And, you know, I always smile when I see that.
We mentioned there, it feels like you've been around for an awful long time, despite still being relatively young in your professional career. I mean, I remember the days years ago when you were sparring with Deontay Wilder, all of those years ago, going out to Alabama, Usyk-Joshua, then having the fight with Lawrence Okolie. Been quite a journey for you so far as a professional, hasn't it?
Yeah, big, massive journey. And I'm grateful for all the experiences that I've had. you know, and it's definitely put everything in good stead for me to finally take this title now. Now I think it's time to really push on, and it's even more motivating knowing that the winner of this fight could fight Jay Opetaia for the IBF and Ring magazine. So, chance to change my life, change my family's life.
Mentioned Jaya Pataya there. Of course, he just beat Myris Bradis, the consensus #1 in the division, Ring Magazine champion. What did you make of his performance?
Like, he done his thing. Gutsy performance. He literally put it out the bag. He had broken jaw on 2 sides. Heart of a champion. Much credit to him.
How exciting is it to be, you know, 1 or 2 fights away from a world title when you consider the things that you've gone through as a pro so far?
It's a crazy story. Can't wait to write a book about all of this, boy. Well, I've never had a career like everyone else. I've had a different type of career, but a career that's definitely made for me. I think it's just supposed to happen this way. That's what I believe. I can't look at everyone else and be like, oh, well, how come, you know, I'm not like this or like that. But I just think that it was just made for me, you know. So I know the harder the climb, it's better at the top, you know.
Just touched upon the fact that you went over to spar Deontay Wilder all those years ago. I think you were 18 at the time when you went out there.
19.
18, 19. What were your memories of that? I mean, I'm sure you look back with very fond memories. Of course, he went on to have a brilliant career as a heavyweight champion of the world. It must be interesting looking back.
Yeah, definitely. It was out in camp there for his fight with Bermane Stiverne for the first WBC title. It was good, man. The sparring was good. I saw him lay guys out there, man. It's his speed, you know. People always say it's power, but it's actually his athleticism and his speed. I remember he hit me with one uppercut. I thought I was back in London. Yeah, man, it was crazy. Great experience.
I know that you were still in contact as well. Like, you'd shoot you messages before some of your fights. When was the last time that you exchanged a few messages?
Before the 3rd Fury fight, you know, we FaceTimed. You know, he was in the gym. He was locked in. You know, he's definitely going to come back, though. I definitely believe that. Sticking
with the heavyweights and somebody else that you shared the ring with, Anthony Joshua, we're seemingly creeping up on us that Saudi Arabia's around the corner, his rematch with Oleksandr Usyk. Before I ask you how that fight goes, what did you make of the first fight and Oleksandr Usyk's performance in that against Anthony Joshua?
Oleksandr does what he does best, you know, the feints, the elusiveness. You know, he doesn't give you no time to rest. He's mentally very relentless, you know, in his approach. And what AJ needs to do, you can't just walk in and bomb him out like everyone is saying, because Usyk can punch as well. Do you know what I mean? He has to be very tough. He has to be very aggressive with his maneuver, but be very smart at the same time, you know? And obviously work in the clinches, get angry in the clinches, really rough him up. And then, you know, that's how he has to do it. Well, it's not an easy task. Usyk is a sensational boxer.
You've been out and spent time with Usyk as well, haven't you?
Yeah, for 2
What was
camps.
that like?
Yeah, he's a master boxer, man. He's very, very good. Very, very good. He's like, we're playing chess together, because obviously I had very fast hands. So they brought me back again and again. And they wanted to bring me back again, but I was like, I can't really do that right now.
Did you go out and spar in, was it the Olympic Institute, don't they? Yeah. It was like the middle of nowhere. What's it like out there? Explain to me, because obviously there'll be people who are watching this who are not kind of aware of just how in the middle of nowhere and what that type of training camp is like.
Literally in the middle of nowhere. Like, it was weird. I thought I started seeing different animals and stuff. Like, it was literally in the middle of nowhere. And it's hard to say, man. Literally, I remember we got into the car from the airport and we drove like 2 hours with no lights, no headlights. I mean, not headlights. What's it called again? The flipping
lamppost.
Lamppost. Yeah. Sorry.
Street lights.
Yeah, no street lights for 2 hours. And I was thinking, we're gonna get killed here, bro. But yeah, it was a great experience, you know, and I'm glad that I went through it.
Everybody knows about what a genius he is inside the ring. Obviously, undisputed cruiserweight champion, unified heavyweight champion. But outside of the ring, what type of character is he? As we see him from the outside, he's quite a quirky guy.
Yeah, he's always joking about. Sometimes he'll just chill and just start busting breakdance music. I think, bro, what's this guy doing, bro? You know, but yeah, he's a great guy, great champion. He always gives me advice after sparring. He was always giving me advice on what to do and how to better my boxing skill, and I was always taking it on board.
How do you see that rematch going? Back to that on August the 20th, Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. How do you see it playing out?
It depends who adapts their style and their tactics accordingly. You know, it's not just a fight where you get this is world heavyweight boxing, you know, for all the marbles. You know, so he has to be on point. AJ has to be on point and stick to the tactics. You can't really get flustered by Usyk's feints because he's gonna feint and feint and feint and move it. You're gonna think he's gonna go, then he's gonna go, and he's gonna have to be. It's more for AJ's mind. You know, he has to be very mentally strong to withstand that for 12 rounds. You know, because there's a difference between being mentally tired and physically tired. So he has to deal with that.
Going back to your division, the cruiserweight division, of course, a name that you've been linked with throughout your professional career, somebody that you shared the ring with, Lawrence Okolie, the WBO cruiserweight champion. What have you made of his kind of ascent to world level and becoming a world champion?
I mean, he's done what's asked of him. He's won. You know, some of them might have been, you know, not fan friendly, but he's actually done his thing and he's won and he's made a lot of money out of it, especially from coming from unprivileged background. So I give credit to him.
Is that obviously the only loss that you've got on your record against Lawrence Okolie? Does that, I don't want to say eat away at you, but is that something that you want to address in the future? Is that a rematch that you would like to get at some point before you call time on your own career?
Yeah, of course. 100%. We can make that fight. I just want to, you know, do my thing with Chris Billam-Smith, fight for a world title, you know, win the world title, and then we can have that conversation again when both of us have world championship belts.
And just final one on yourself. How does the fight end? Isaac Chamberlain versus Chris Billam-Smith. Isaac Chamberlain in the Lion's Den against Chris Billam-Smith on July the 30th in Bournemouth.
I will call it a win. A definite win.
Okay. Well, Isaac Chamberlain, always a pleasure to catch up. It has been a long time. Nice to see you doing so well. Congratulations on a big fight for yourself in July in Bournemouth. We'll see you there.
Thank you very much.